Ran into a bunch of traffic.
Yeah, which pumps do what on the Stanley?
Okay.
And these two large pumps are the water power pumps. They pump continuously as long as the engine's running. And when the boiler does not need water, this bypass valve is open. So the pumps just pump the water back into the water tank. But once the boiler water indicator says that the boiler is low on water, you have to close the bypass. Right now the water indicator is beginning to climb up. So it's beginning to indicate that the boiler is getting low on water. I'll let it get a little higher, and then we'll start pumping some water back. The black tape indicates the pipeline.
So right now you're not bypassing.
No, right now we're not bypassing.
You're letting the pump water into the boiler.
And the boiler's using the water that's in there right now. So, and this is the fuel power pump.
This is
The small one.
small one.
Right, and that keeps the fuel pressure up here at 110 psi continuously. So right now that's bypassing that fuel to the fuel tank. It will remain at 110 pounds. And this is a low water test, so if all else fails, if steam comes out of here, your water's too low. So you can see it's still just hot water. So we haven't hit that point yet. Although we're getting near.
So you're getting used to how to control that water level.
We are, because this is critical to operating the car. Yeah, we have to run that.
Get up here. There they all are. I'm on the wide angle and I still don't have everything.
How many years? It was 1917? Did it run last?
Yeah, about that. Around 1917. It was 1915 when my grandfather took it over Donner Summit.
Okay.
And that was the first year the Lincoln Highway was open.
I'll follow you, Jason.
I forgot. That little tank I remember seeing.
That's the original
That's
tank.
the little tank, yeah. You have to keep your foot on the arm fillers, so consider that over. Now that's how it works. So we're letting the pressure come back up again. Just about to 500 again.
Hear it? It's just shutting down. No, the burner just shut off.
The burner just shut off.
Yeah, on high pressure.
Wow.
Once the steam pressure hits 550 pounds, it closes the valve to the fuel.
Wow. So that's really pretty neat that it's got that.
Now see how the water is coming up in there? So now steam is entering the indicator over here, forcing the water level up. So now we're going to close the bypass, and you'll hear the difference as the engine has to pump those against boiler pressure.
Okay.
Hear it? hear it working?
Yeah.
It even slowed the engine down. So now it's pumping. Those pumps have to overcome 500 psi.
Wow.
So they're working now.
Well, the pumps they have to exceed the 500 psi to pump the water in there.
Exactly. So you can hear the water squeaking by the check valve. The engine slow down. And pretty soon we'll see the water begin to drop in the glass.
Do you have any indication when the water tank in the back that feeds the boiler gets low?
Yes, that's this gauge here. And this thing uses a lot of water because we had it full just a few minutes ago. So it's already dropped, a gallon, a few minutes ago, about half an hour ago. It's already. So now we're down to the normal operating level.
So that's where you like to have it, down there at the bottom.
Now when we blow the boiler off, we'll really show you the expansive power of steam.
Okay, so it's all full pressure right now.
Full pressure, yeah, 550 pounds.
It's okay, it's at 500 psi right now.
And take a look at your watch.
You're going to take it down to 200?
Yeah.
200. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to blow off the steam.
Now imagine that much steam coming out, and look how it became. Look how much stored energy is in that boiler.
Somebody's complaining.
Still letting the steam off, and this has been on for 5 minutes now approximately, and it's still releasing energy, and the boiler
Gauge is barely budged.
the gauge of reducing the steam is barely budged down at all. Now it's just a little above 400 or 425. It's got a long way to go.
So what we do is we blow it down to about 200 psi, then we shut the blow off. And then with the bypass closed, as it begins to contract, it sucks the water out of the water tank and refills the boiler automatically.
Oh.
So that's a nice little perk.
Okay, so you get it down to about 250, you say?
200.
200.
And then we close the blow-offs and allow it to, overnight it'll refill the boiler by itself.
By itself, wow. It'll be ready to go.
Yeah. This filling tank is at gravity, no pressure at all.
Right.
Then the fuel pump pumps gasoline into the first tank, and just like a well water, or just like your well system, it begins to fill this. This one communicates with the top of this one. So then as the fuel comes up in here, it pushes air into the second tank. So the second tank remains compressed air.
Compressed air.
So it's the compressed air that makes your 110 pounds.
Like a hydro-pneumatic tank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like a water.
And that fuel then gets pumped up to
110 pounds.
110 pounds pressure.
While, as a safety measure, your main fuel tank is not pressurized at all.
Right.
Stanley patented that, and its main competitor at the time, the White Steam Car Company, couldn't do it. And therefore they had to have a huge reinforced fuel tank behind the car, which was dangerous because if you get in an accident, imagine all that fuel at 110 pounds.
Wow.
And there were a lot of fires.
Wow.
So that was a good invention of Stanley.
Wow.
So this line right here with a loop and down at the bottom, that's your water column in the boiler. This your upper connection, that's your lower connection. This level right here is the operating level, right here. So as the water drops in the boiler, and gets below this level, then the steam from the top fills this chamber, half of this chamber. And when that happens, it makes the water side that we see out here hot. And when it does that, the hot water expands in this U-tube that comes up and through the dash, and that expanding warm water pushes the water up in the glass to tell us that the steam has fallen below that connection point. So once we do that, we close the bypass and allow the pumps, the power pumps, to pump water back through and into the boiler. And once the water is pumping again, the cold water goes inside this side of the chamber, the water side of the chamber, and the cold water will drop, will make the water drop in the glass, because then it contracts. So the water in the U-tube will contract and come back down. So therefore, you can control the level in the boiler indirectly through the sight glass. This was a clever invention of the Stanleys that made these things viable. Because H over on the left.
Yeah, that is the Model H. It's at the speed of over 180 miles an hour.
So that's our model car on the left that we have right here, except it has wire wheels instead of artillery wheels.
That was, and then they also raced that touring car, the Model F, that had the same engine on the right.
Yeah.
In fact,